Okay, the 49ers are in playoff mode, and I have an update for you as the team wraps up its first practice of the week ahead of the divisional round game against the Packers, which is going to be held here at Levi's Stadium. The main gist of things is that the 49ers are healthier than at any point this season. They really did take advantage of that double bye week, right? They had the official bye week because they earned a number one seed, but they haven't played a meaningful game since Washington on New Year's Eve. But no practice today for Clelin Ferrell. That was expected. He suffered a knee injury week 18 against the Rams. He's probably going to be out this week. The other two players who missed practice, though, are expected to be back tomorrow. That's Logan Ryan, groin injury for him, and Dre Greenlaw, who's dealing with Achilles tendonitis. This is nothing new. 49ers worked him hard yesterday. They gave him today off. They expect Greenlaw to be back and tomorrow, practicing tomorrow, but they also fully expect him to play on Saturday against the Packers. Full returns to practice for Christian McCaffrey. He is fully healthy, so the double bye week did wonders for his calf injury. Ambry Thomas, who had hand surgery right after that game against Washington, he is wearing a small cast on his right hand, but it's a very, very small cast, almost more like a splint on his right hand. He's a full participant at practice. Jair Brown, 49ers safety, underwent a knee sprain. He is okay now, full participant at practice. So is his counterpart, the veteran, Tashawn Gibson Sr., who is coming back from a quad strain. Eric Armstead back out at practice again in a limited capacity. He is on target to return from his foot injury. It's plantar fasciitis, so he's obviously trying to manage that as well as possible, but saw Armstead warming up there and everything looks like it's on track for him. Juwan Jennings obviously progressed through concussion protocol. I think the final verdict on that was already over a week ago. He looks happy. He's running through everything as a full participant. And George Odom is in a blue non-contact jersey out on the field. He's coming off of, or he's still on IR, but he's on the return to play list coming off of IR to where he can practice for the time being. That's a 3-week window that the 49ers have for their safety, George Odom, who actually led the NFL in special teams tackles at the time that he got injured in November. He's out in a blue non-contact jersey, and I think the plan is for the 49ers to officially activate him from injured reserve by the time that this game against the Packers hits on Saturday. The Packers, by the way, number 31 special teams DVOA. So one of the weaknesses for Green Bay is their defense. Another one of their weaknesses is the special teams unit. And the 49ers don't have a great special teams unit of their own, so they're trying to be as good as possible on that side of the ball. The NFL leader in special teams tackles when he got hurt, George Odom, seems like somebody who could really give the 49ers a nice boost entering this football game. It was lively today in the 49ers locker room. Good vibes, energetic vibes. This team went through two intense practices last week on Thursday and Friday to make sure they didn't get too rusty over the course of the long layoff. Friday's practice even had pads on for the 49ers, which is relatively unusual for this late in the season. And you'll hear Fred Warner and George Kittle and the offense and the defense going back and forth about who got the best of each session. It seems that the consensus was that the offense got the best of Thursday's session, but Fred Warner today with a grin said, just go and ask George Kittle about what happened on Friday once the pads came on. So we'll ask George Kittle about that tomorrow, but Fred Warner seemed confident that the 49ers defense stood up and puffed out its chest during that padded practice on Friday. The 49ers defense has played its best games of the season, its best stretches of the season when it's been rested this year. That was early in the year, and that was coming off of the bye week. And the plan is for the 49ers defense to do the same against the Green Bay Packers and their high-powered offense with Jordan Love, who's playing so well. Franchise record 48 points for the Packers against the Cowboys. And Nick Bosa I used 2019 as an example when I was talking to Nick Bosa when the 49ers last had a playoff bye, and Bosa nodded his head and he said, yep, it's what we want to look like. We feel fresh. We think that we could really show something on the defensive side of the ball. Kyle Shanahan today said that the 49ers actually began prepping for the Packers midway through the second quarter of Green Bay's game against the Dallas Cowboys. That's how badly the Packers were beating up the Cowboys. So a little slight trolling of the Cowboys there from Kyle Shanahan, but the 49ers got an early start on their Packers prep because of that score. Shanahan's not worried about Brock Purdy and any potential rust. He said that Purdy looked good in practice on Thursday and Friday. Obviously, Purdy played some of his best football this year, coming off of a major layoff, right? Week 1 against Pittsburgh. He had the entire offseason off where he's trying to rehab, so the 49ers are not worried about that. Deommodore Lenoir today said that the 49ers will not lose. Deommodore Lenoir remembers the feeling of the loss last season to Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game. He wants to avoid that feeling. Said that the 49ers will not lose this game, so he is motivated. Speaking of Philadelphia, Deebo Samuel spoke today. He's been vindicated, right, in many ways over the past several weeks. Called James Bradbury trash. He was obviously talking some smack over toward Philly. Well, it looks like Deebo Samuel's theories were all proven correct. A reporter asked Deebo Samuel if he, thought or had any feelings about Philadelphia's early downfall, exit from the playoffs, and Deebo Samuel did not take the bait. Said not at all. And he moved on to the next question. So even if Deebo Samuel has some gloating feelings, he is not sharing them publicly. Big media presence around Kyle Juszczyk today. His wife, Kristen Juszczyk, has gone viral, has added over 400,000 Instagram followers in just a couple days after Taylor Swift wore the customized jacket that she designed. Also got one of Taylor Lautner, the actor in Detroit, who's a big Lions fan. And getting him the jersey was difficult because it got stuck in Memphis being shipped by FedEx. But Kyle Juszczyk said that Kristen literally got a hold of the owner of FedEx, and the company made it their absolute priority to get that jersey, or the customized jacket, I guess I should say, the jersey jacket, delivered to the famous actor on the sideline in Detroit. It was hand-delivered by a courier on the field ahead of Lions and the Rams. So really cool stuff. Nice story there. Kyle Juszczyk said that his wife is getting offers from every company that you could think of right now. Inbox is flooded with interview requests, collaboration requests, job offers, and right now Kristen Juszczyk's just going to sit back and bide her time and decide what the best path forward is. She's also working on something special as far as what Kyle Juszczyk might wear to one of these games coming up in the playoffs. But first, it's going to be 49ers and the Packers, the very healthy 49ers against the Green Bay Packers coming up in the postseason. The 49ers today, they made one transaction. They brought Austin Bryant, the defensive end, back to the practice squad. He was with the team earlier this season in training camp and maybe even a tiny bit into the start of the year. To make room, they released Jeremy McNichols from the practice squad. So it is a fully loaded roster. Obviously, a couple minor injuries, but even those guys that weren't at practice today, between Farrell, Logan Ryan, and Dre Greenlaw, they're either expected back tomorrow or very soon. I think Cleveland Farrell might only be out for this week. So this is why you want the bye. Everybody else beat the crap out of each other over this weekend, except for the Ravens, who had the bye on the other side. The 49ers are rested, and they are locked and ready to go moving forward. There's your 49er update, 49ers intel, and much more coming soon.